Okay, for this initial exercise, we have different topics. So we have topics about TV, fashion, food, music, cars, technology, hairstyles, and personal tastes. So I'm gonna ask a different question to each of you, so we can have different answers, and the class can be a bit more entertaining. So let me get started, and I'm gonna start with Luisa today. So Luisa, I'm gonna ask you the very first question about TV. Okay. So I know that you might not watch too much TV, but maybe what you have heard of people talking on the street or at work. What TV shows are popular, you think? Or what TV shows are popular in Netflix, for example?
Mm, To be honest, I don't know about TV shows and I never hear about it. But
Okay.
probably I could say some like Sábado Gigante. I don't know.
Okay. That's
I
fine.
think that is this type of shows or no?
Okay, very good. Have you heard about El Juego de Calamar, Squid Game?
Yes, only on Facebook, but I
That's right.
never
I
seen
mean,
that.
exactly. So that's what normally happens. Maybe you didn't watch the show at all, but there was a point where people were talking about that all
Oh,
the
yes,
time, right?
probably this.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's an example. Okay, so what kind of TV shows are popular? Well, we don't really know, but we have heard people talking about Squid Game. Okay.
Yes.
Very good. So we have that taken care of. Let's go with Liz. Liz, have shows gotten better or worse in the last 5 years? Do you think that the shows now on TV are better than in the past, or are they worse?
Mm, I I think the shows no in TV on Netflix, for example,
Mhm.
um, are better.
Okay.
5 years ago, I don't remember see more TV or series.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Actually, many months I see two series. I like the medical series,
Mm-hmm.
and then I think these are better.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you very much. That's exactly what I needed. So we may have different opinions, but I think that we have more options now, so that's better. That's good. Very good. So let me ask Karen. Karen, we're going to talk about fashion. Fashion. What's in fashion right now, do you think?
Fashion right now, I think it's more popular now.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything specific that is in fashion right now? Like, have you seen like people wearing certain kind of clothing that is kind of fa in fashion?
In fashion, like right now, in this time, it's like they were like dresses and um balas or like
Mm-hmm.
in many colors. It depends the time,
The season of the year?
the season. Yes, the season
Mm-hmm.
of the year. Because when it's winter, they wear like a for the gloves, like everything, or for the summer, the dresses with flowers
Mm-hmm.
and the colors too is more popular now in the fashion.
Okay,
Or the new
perfect.
styles.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and what
And
what do you think right now is this season? Is it still winter where you're at? Or
yes, yes, and I see in this in Facebook
hmm
the fashion shows in now is more popular because they make some for like oversizes too, like
hmm
for every type. people.
Okay. Okay,
Mhm.
okay. That's good. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know that that's something that we can that we can say, guys, that is in fashion now. That uh, there are more options for fashion. There are, of course, um, fashion shows that include, as Karen was saying, uh, more sizes, like for regular people, if you want to call it. Very good. So let's see. Let me have another person. Um, I'm gonna ask Raquel about food. Okay, so then I'm gonna go with Oscar about your diet. Is your diet as healthy as it could be? And Friseida, I'm gonna finish with you, asking you about music. What bands are popular right now? So let me start with Raquel. Raquel, what diets and foods are popular, do you think?
Now I see it's very popular. Don't have a breakfast because I see like one of my friends
Mm-hmm.
started have a diet because in her church started a diet with uh, vesicles and don't eat meat and things. I think
Mm-hmm.
so because I don't see so much house food.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, I mean with social media, I think that many diets are very um famous, right? Like for example, just a
Yes.
carnivore diet or just a vegetarian diet or a keto diet, right? So there are different ideas on diets. Do you follow a diet, Raquel, or y-
No.
just
Sometimes I
mm-hmm,
change when I have swimming class. I don't eat so much because for swimming,
mm-hmm,
something feel me bad
mm-hmm.
sometimes.
Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Now let's have a like an internal inspection with Oscar. Oscar, is your diet as healthy as it could be? Do you think that you follow a healthy diet in your like daily routine?
Well, the thing on me is I think it's a good choice because all day my wife wake up the same time with me and she put breakfast in lunch and I don't have a um I don't need to buy and outside of
Outside,
the house. Yeah,
like fast food.
because outside it's a good food, but for me it's a junk food because it's a lot
Mm-hmm.
of grease and it's a Mexican food.
Mm-hmm.
Those food it's a lot of grease and it's not healthy for me. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes my wife uh she tried to put me a healthy food
Mm-hmm.
and and I like it, but sometimes I think I broke the rules and I buy something in the outside of the house and but I try because especially on me I am old I think and
Mm-hmm.
and I try to eat healthy and and I think it's better for me because uh, the doctor recommended to eat more fruits and vegetables and drink more water and no sodas. And I think I try to eat healthy.
Okay, that's excellent. Thank you very much, and I'm glad that you have the opportunity of eating like homemade food because I think that that contributes a lot to your diet instead of like every day trying to find something to eat outside, which is going to be more
Yes,
expensive and still, I will say,
especially
less
for the
healthy.
expensive.
hmm That's right. Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you for answering that question. I know it's it sometimes is hard to Like maybe do an inner inspection and saying, yeah, maybe I'm not eating as healthy as I could, but I'm trying, right? So that's good. Friseida, let's go with you on music. What bands are popular right now? What do you think? What bands are popular right now? Friseida, can you hear me? What bands are popular right now? That's the in the music section. Yeah, we will get back to this maybe maybe later. Okay, go ahead. Okay. I, I can hear some of the background noise. I can hear some of the background noise. You can try speaking now.
Listen to me.
Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, so Bull Harry in Guatemala are one of the most famous bands, Viento en Contra.
Hmm. Okay, so that's one. Very good. So there are many others, but that's a good example. Thank you very much. Depending on our culture and depending on our, I guess, our region, sometimes there are going to be more popular types of music than others. So we have one band. Thank you very much. And we have more conversation points here, and we can keep talking about many different things. But I want to give you a variety of things today. So some of the things that we're going to work on are speaking, which we are doing right now. But towards the end of the class, I want to give you the opportunity to also improve your writing skills. Okay, so I'm going to give you some tips before we do an exercise. Okay, so we are going to have a writing exercise in a moment, and the in a style interview. Okay, so I'm going to go through that in just a moment. Now, sometimes we learn English and we like to learn pronunciation and we want to learn how to speak very fast. But there are moments in life where you're going to need writing. For example, let's imagine that you're applying for a new job and everything has to be in English and you have to write something, okay? So you have to be very good at expressing your ideas in paper or in writing. And sometimes when you need to write to be clear, you have to understand punctuation. Okay. So that's something that we normally don't care about, right? No sé si les ha pasado, por ejemplo, en español incluso, ver gente que textea o que escribe y que no usa comas, no usa puntos, no usa mayúsculas y se va de largo, ¿verdad? Y uno obviamente conoce el idioma y puede descifrar qué está pasando ahí, pero no necesariamente es una forma en la que uno diría, ok, esta persona se puede comunicar bien por correo electrónico con su empleador, por ejemplo, ¿verdad? So that's a problem. Now, in English, you will encounter the same situation in which you are going to need to express yourself in English in written form, but you have to know how to use punctuation, where to use a comma, how to use a comma, how to use the exclamation point or the question mark, or a dash, etc., etc. So I want to give you some examples on how to use these punctuation symbols, and how they are a bit different in English and Spanish. Okay. So this is something that in traditional English courses, I don't see people teaching this. Maybe if you're re receiving or getting or taking an English class that is just for writing, you might have some of this, but in regular English courses, I don't see many people uh, paying attention to these things. So the first thing that I want to teach you today, or that I want you to consider, is the use of the commas. Okay, so in Spanish we call comma. In English, it's very similar. It's just written with two M's. So use commas in lists. This is this is very similar to the Spanish form. Okay, so let's say that you're talking about um, ropa, huh? Okay, so this is like my translated version of this example. Okay, mi ropa es divertida, colorida e inusual. This is how we write in Spanish. When we're writing a list of characteristics or a list of something, in Spanish we use commas, right? Aquí puedo hacer la lista más grande, ¿verdad? Divertida, colorida, costosa, eh, fina, eh, e inusual. Entonces yo puedo ahí agregarle más palabras a esa lista. Y la lista puede crecer y crecer y solo necesito comas para separarlo. Mi ropa es divertida, coma, colorida, coma, costosa, como fina e inusual. Now, how is this different in English? Well, in English you have something similar. You separate every uh, every characteristic or every item on the list with a comma, right? My clothes are fun, colorful, expensive, luxury, or luxurious, and unusual. But look what's happening here. Noten qué es lo que está pasando aquí, que esto no pasa en el español. En el español, nuestro último elemento de la lista no lleva coma, nunca. ¿Verdad? Divertida, colorida, costosa, fina y lo que sea de que agregamos de último, ese último elemento no lleva coma. En el español no lleva coma. En inglés sí lleva coma. Hay una coma antes del and. So that is something that is different to Spanish. So in general, we use commas very similarly in English and in Spanish. But in this case, when we're talking about lists of things and we are separating every item in the list with commas, well, in English works differently because the last item of the list, aunque lleve el and, ¿verdad? O sea, el y, todas maneras lleva esa coma antes, ¿ok? My clothes are fun, colorful, and unusual. Esa es otra cosa, ¿verdad? Que no vemos normalmente, ¿verdad? En un curso de inglés, pero hoy lo estamos comparando con el español. So these are some ideas that you may grab for your own knowledge. Now that's with lists in commas. What about the dash? Nosotros normalmente no utilizamos este tipo de signo de puntuación en el español, al menos no cuando nos comunicamos por escrito, ¿verdad? So use a dash to add or explain more about something. Y lo vamos a unir a la última. Use an exclamation mark for emphasis. Emphasis. La P y la H suena como F, ¿verdad? Emphasis. So use an exclamation mark for emphasis. ¿Cómo se llama el signo de admiración? Se llama exclamation mark. Okay. A esto les llaman exclamation point también. Y al de la pregunta se le llama question mark. Okay. So this one can be exclamation mark or exclamation point, and this one is the question mark. Okay. So two things that we need to see. El dash, o sea, el guión, se utiliza cuando vas a dar una explicación de algo. Por ejemplo, I wear every color under the sun. Este es un lenguaje figurado. Dice, yo uso todos los colores que hay debajo del sol. Eso quiere decir que es una persona que usa ropa muy colorida. ¿verdad? I wear every color under the sun. No es aquella persona que dice, ah, no, este color no me va, o este, sino dice que usa todos los colores. ¿verdad? So I wear every color under the sun. Y luego va a agregar una explicación a esa idea que está dando, ¿verdad? Dice, sometimes all at once. A veces todos a la vez. Como que es arcoíris, se viste, ¿verdad? Dice, I wear every color under the sun, sometimes all at once. Entonces aquí está combinando dos cosas. Está combinando el dash para explicar y está combinando el exclamation mark para hacer un énfasis, ¿verdad? En algo gracioso, ¿verdad? O llamativo que está diciendo en la oración. Okay, so I wear every color under the sun y en vez de usar una coma acá, como lo que iba a hacer era explicar algo más al respecto, pone un guión y luego da esa explicación adicional. Y como está haciendo un énfasis o una broma, entonces viene y usa un exclamation. Now, exclamation marks y question marks ya se dieron cuenta que solo se usan en el cierre de las oraciones en inglés, ¿verdad? Esa es otra gran diferencia con el español. En español nosotros tenemos un exclamation mark al inicio de la oración, que es el, ¿verdad? Es abrir el signo de interrogación o el signo de admiración, y tenemos uno al final de la frase, ¿verdad? Que es el símbolo que es este que conocemos. En inglés solo se cierra el signo de interrogación y el signo de exclamación no se abre. Okay? So that's something that you probably realized that you probably knew about, but I just wanted to make sure that we are following those expressions. So in the following exercise, when you are writing about the topic that I'm going to let you know, I want you to consider this when you are expressing your ideas, okay? So if you're going to write a list, because you probably are going to write a list, remember that in English, the lists work differently than Spanish. At the end of the list in Spanish, we do not use anything. We just use and in English, even though we're using the word and at the very end, at the very end of the sentence, we need to add the comma in here. That's just part of the rule when writing lists and using the comma in those lists. So let me change the slide, and I'm going to guide you through the writing exercise. Okay. So first, read the question and answer below and the help note. Okay. Add commas where needed and a dash and change one period to an exclamation mark. Okay. So I'm giving you a text, but this text is missing a few things. Este texto, para que sea perfecto, le están faltando cosas y le están faltando puntuaciones, okay? So you're going to read the question. The question is, how would you describe your taste in clothes? ¿Cómo describirías tu gusto en la ropa? Y la persona está contestando, so you will see that the person is trying to answer that. But you will find that there are some commas that are going to be needed. There are going to be some dashes that you might need to change. And there is an exclamation point or more than one exclamation point to make an emphasis. Cuando ustedes los lean, se van a dar cuenta que alguna de estas frases se utiliza como para hacer un énfasis en algo, ¿verdad? Y el punto que tenga esa frase van a tener que cambiarlo a un exclamation point. Entonces, básicamente ustedes van a analizar el texto y van a decidir qué cosas le cambiarían al texto para que sean más entendibles, ¿verdad? Tal vez hay alguna lista acá escondida que no podemos entender bien porque no usaron la puntuación correcta. Entonces vamos a identificar cuál sería la puntuación correcta para esa lista y así sucesivamente, ¿verdad? Poder corregir este párrafo. Entonces, no es que esté todo malo porque algunas frases están bien, pero la puntuación, ¿verdad? Le hacen falta comas, le hacen falta un dash porque tal vez hay alguna explicación que se está haciendo y le hace falta un exclamation point en todo el texto. Okay, so we're gonna be editors. Vamos a ser como los editores de este artículo y vamos a decidir cómo mejorar este artículo con los signos de puntuación que acabamos de leer hoy. So that's going to be our first writing exercise. So you're going to have 4 minutes to read the text and to find the places where you need to improve the punctuation. And remember that you need to use commas, you need to use a dash, and at least one exclamation point. So let's go ahead and work on that for the next 4 minutes, and let's see how that goes. Maybe 30 seconds. Okay, so I'm gonna post on my screen some of the ideas that you're sharing regarding the improvement of these texts. And let's see if we can have a consensus on what's the correct position for some of the symbols, okay? I like to wear fashionable clothes, comma. Somebody said that there's a comma there. Um, when I go out with my friends, I get ideas from men clothing stores, magazines, and from my friends. At home, I like to wear more comfortable, something more comfortable, my old jeans, a t-shirt and sneakers. I look completely different. Okay, so I only see one comma here. I don't see the dash or the exclamation point. Let's see more. Let's see more. Okay, fashionable clothes, comma. When I was with friends, I get ideas from men clothing stores, magazines. Okay, my old jeans. There's another comma here. Okay, I look completely different. Okay, so yes, that looks good. Look better. Okay. I like to wear fashionable clothes when I'll go out with my friends. I get ideas. Who's this? Luisa. Okay, very good. So I like to wear fashionable clothes when I go out with my friends. I get ideas from men clothing stores, comma, magazines, comma, and from my friends. At home, I like to wear something more comfortable. My old jeans, a t-shirt, and the sneakers. I look completely different. Okay, perfect. So this one looks better. Good job. Okay. Men clothing stores, comma, magazines, and from my friends. Okay. All jeans and t-shirts, sneakers. I look completely different. Okay. Liz, very good. Very good exercise. Karen, I get ideas from men clothes stores, magazines, and my friends. Comfortable. All jeans. Completely different. Okay, perfect. Very good. I think that we're on the right track. So I want to help you out, just improving some of the ones that you sent. Like for example, this one. I like to wear fashionable clothes. I see somebody who added the dash here. I think it's good. Maybe not completely necessary, but it's good. I like to wear fashionable clothes when I go out with my friends. So I wouldn't use a comma. I would probably use a dash or nothing at all. I like to wear fashionable clothes when I go out with my friends. I get ideas from, y aquí nos va a dar una lista de dónde obtiene sus ideas. Dice, I get my ideas from men's clothing stores. That's the first item on the list. The second item is magazines. And the third item is from my friends. So we have three items in the list. Men clothing stores, comma, magazines, comma, and from my friends. At home, comma, this is good. This is something that I see not many people did, but this is very good. At home, comma, I like to wear something more comfortable. And here, instead of the comma, we could use a dash. I at home, comma, I like to wear something more comfortable, dash, my old jeans, comma, because it's a list again. My old jeans is the first item, comma, the second item is a t-shirt, comma, and the third item is or are sneakers. So, my old jeans, comma, a t-shirt, comma, and sneakers. And I look completely different. So in English, when you have the exclamation point, you don't need the period at the end. Okay. So we erase that period. The period is gone. We only need the exclamation point. But very, very good. If you see the text feels more natural when you have the commas in the text, right? I get ideas from men clothing stores, comma, magazines, comma, and from my friends. So that's why it's very important when you're writing to notice these small but effective tips to improve your writing. So people are going to be able to understand you better. Your ideas are going to be clearer, and whatever you're trying to communicate is not going to have any obstruction. And that's what we're looking in the end. So when we're speaking, we're trying to speak well enough for our message to arrive to the other person without any obstacles or interruption, right? So that's why we try to work on our accent or pronunciation. I'm not saying eliminating our accent, like because we come from Latin America. We probably are going to keep that accent all of our lives, but we're going to improve our pronunciation, or we have to improve our pronunciation in such a way that the pronunciation is not a problem when it's about communicating with somebody else. So same happens with writing. So you have to learn how to write properly. Spelling, of course, is extremely important. I'm pretty sure that you have noticed that when somebody has really bad spelling habits in Spanish, it feels weird, right? So somebody writing words completely wrong in Spanish, you kind of I don't know, you feel bad for the person, especially if they are applying for a job, for example, or it's a very important text. Now, we can apply the same logic to English. We need to learn how to spell correctly so we can communicate correctly, and so our texts look decent, right? Uh, but on top of that, today we're learning that punctuation is a very important part of writing coherently, right? And that people are actually going to feel more comfortable when our writing is improved in a way like this. So congratulations. That was just the first exercise, and I think you did it right. But for future exercises, when you're writing, I'm expecting you to think about this. So when you're writing a list, bring that to your memory, right? When you're, uh, I don't know, maybe make an emphasis on something, try to use an exclamation point. If there's a question or if there is an explanation, you're trying to give more information on something, try to use all of the symbols that are available to you so you can make your writing more interesting. So it's time for us to write something on our own. So I'm going to give you this clues, right? So write 5 questions about personal style. So we have talked about many things about personal style. We're going to first write questions. You don't have to answer the questions. We're just having just a conversation regarding personal style. And I'm asking you to think about 5 questions each. Um, what can you think of? For example, these are some ideas, right? So what's in fashion right now? This is one idea. But I can ask you, right? For example, what are your favorite colors to wear? I don't know. That's a question that I'm creating for the purpose of this exercise. Maybe that's something close to what you want to ask. So imagine that you're about to interview somebody, and we're going to interview that person in the topic of personal style. We have been talking about that. We talked about that last week. We're talking about that this week, so I'm pretty sure that you have some material to ask for it. Okay, so think about 5 questions regarding personal style. Just write the questions, and then we're going to mix all of the questions and have some conversations from it. Okay, so let's go and start with the questions. It's you won't see a timer, so I'm gonna set the timer here. The second part says discuss with a partner. You don't do that yet, okay? Eso lo vamos a hacer juntos, pero cuando ya todas las preguntas ya las tengamos en pantalla en Nearpod, okay? So right now, you just limit yourself to write 5 questions about personal style. I'm going to give you 1 minute per question. 1 minuto por pregunta les voy a dar. Voy a setear mi timer para 5 minutos, okay? So starting now, I'm giving you 5 minutes, 1 minute per question. After the time is over, then I'm going to ask you to send all of your questions, and then we are going to have like a collective kind of exercise where we read some questions from some of you and try to answer those questions with real information. You have 2 minutes and 30 seconds. 2 minutes and 30 seconds to finish your 5 questions. So you may start sending your questions. If you're finished, you only have 30 seconds. So you can start sending your questions, and we're gonna have like a very collective uh, exercise where we're gonna be reading some of your questions and somebody else is gonna be answering them. Okay, time's over. So please send your answers. Sorry, send your questions. As many questions that you were able to create. It doesn't matter. I just want to have some of those. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Liz. Thank you, Raquel. I see your answers. I'm waiting for the rest. Thank you very much, Oscar. Thank you, Karen. Okay.
It's too fast for me, teacher.
It's too fast. Okay, don't worry. You're gonna have opportunities to answer.
Okay.
Okay, so let's see here. Let's see some questions here. From 1 to 10, uh, how much you like your style? I think that that's what it means. So how much you like style and why? So this is the first question, and some people are going to answer that. So I'm going to ask Liz and then Karen. The same question. So Liz, from 1 to 10, how much do you like your style, your personal style right now, and why?
I think maybe 8. Because I think my style is basic,
Mhm.
sencillo.
Is it simple? Okay.
I'm simple, but I like use color,
Okay.
colorful clothes. Mhm.
Okay, that's good. I mean, it's not a bad grade. 8 is good, so there's always room for improvement, but I like your answer. Thank you. Karen, what about you? From 1 to 10, how much do you like your style and why?
I think maybe 7, 7.5. It
Like a
depends because
7.5, is it?
yes.
Okay, that's good.
It depends because uh, I would like to use like basic like jeans,
Mm-hmm.
t-shirts, and only in occasion when I have like wearing wedding or something special, I like to dress it like. And more specific, I like to look for more for the accessories I wear.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing on me. It's more like not the cost too much, like the accessories and the style of my hair. I worry about my more my hair.
Okay. Okay, that's good. I mean, that's not bad at all. And wearing simple outfit doesn't mean bad outfit. It just depends on the occasion. There are going to be occasions in which you're going to be wow, and there are other occasions like maybe going to work every day or something that probably it won't require as much effort, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Very good, very good. Thank you very much. So I have more questions that we are going to be discussing. So let's see. I'm going to use another question from another student. Okay. So buy expensive clothes is necessary to be trendy. Okay. I guess that we can change this and say, so is buying expensive clothes necessary to be trendy? So I'm gonna ask Raquel. Raquel, what do you think about this? Is buying expensive clothes necessary to be trendy?
No, because uh, I like it. It's very tempting. Use like you said, clothes or like we in la poca. No, not
Mm-hmm,
only we expensive like Gucci, for example.
mm-hmm,
Not so much people like this, or it's very elegant,
mm-hmm.
and you can use other things can make be very simple but trendy.
Okay, yeah, I agree with you. Yes, there are different ways in which we can maybe work this around instead of maybe paying hundreds of dollars in a trendy outfit. There are other ways. Oscar, what do you think about this question? Is buying expensive clothes necessary to be trendy? What do you think?
I don't think, teacher, but in my, for example, in my work,
Mm-hmm,
in we try to use um um brands like it's for work,
mm-hmm,
like habits in Colombia,
mm-hmm,
in for the this is for the t-shirts, and for pants, uh we use they say here like mezclilla, lona,
mm-hmm.
and especially for the shoes, um, we need to use cowboy boots. Is because
Okay.
we always we stayed outside, and right here, especially in the summer, is a lot of snake. We need to use
Mm,
those boots because when it's a lot of surprise when we walk outside. Sometimes we can watch the snake and we uh pass um en ¿cómo se dice pisar? O sea,
step,
nos
step.
step on the snake, and we feeling some uh kick in the boat, the
On the
boot,
boots.
and it's a dangerous if
Mm-hmm.
we don't use boots. And I think it's not necessary, but here it's not necessarily the brand, but here we need to use the special clothes for the summer. We need to use a hat too.
Yeah, and I guess that the boots are expensive, right?
Yeah, I buy some. I don't remember the brand, but it's around $250.
One pair of boots, $250.
Yeah,
That's
because that
expensive.
one is it's a leather and it's a special waterproof too.
Mhm. Yeah, but I guess uh in that case, I guess it's justified, right? Because it is for work and you need that quality.
Yes,
Maybe it's not just about the brand, but you know that those brands like Columbia and certain jeans are good quality, right? So you go for that because you need them to perform in some way at work. So I guess that in that sense, yeah, sometimes work equipment is going to be expensive, right? But like for example, going to the mall or going outside with your wife, etc. So maybe you don't have to spend a fortune on looking good, right? You can maybe put together an outfit that is not that expensive, right?
yes.
Okay, I agree with you. Thank you very much, Oscar.
The other
This
thing
was
is uh some people they don't care how much they spend with those clothes and boots
mhm,
because we can I don't know how to say reclamar in the taxes, especially right now in this month,
mhm.
and sometimes the government they coming back some money for everything we expend in the years.
Yeah, so that's good because it's like a free money, right? Because
Yes,
it's coming back uh, from the taxes. So you have some spare money over there to try to use it on some clothes. And I think that sometimes that's okay, right? If you have some extra cash, that's good. But for example, having a lifestyle in which you're always spending on the most expensive clothing, I think that's maybe not convenient because it's very hard to maintain.
yes.
Thank you. Thank you for letting us know
Thank you.
that. And I have one more. Let's see. Who am I missing? Oh, Luisa. So, Luisa, this is your question, but I would like to hear your answer as well. So, is buying expensive clothes necessary to be trendy?
No, I agree with my classmates that it is unnecessary to be to how to say gastar, spend,
Spend. Mm-hmm.
spend a lot of money in clothes only to be trendy. I think that it depends of our age because I think that teenagers probably em, como que si están más para que vean qué tienen
Yeah, they like to show
than
off. They like to
yes.
show what they have. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
probably.
When I know that when we have to work, I think that the money sometimes don't no alcanza.
It's not enough. Yes. Mm-hmm.
It's not enough, and we have to prioritize
Mm-hmm.
um, to buy, I think, meals
Mm-hmm.
than spend a lot of money in something that could be don't help us a lot. I
Mm-hmm.
think
Okay, yeah, I totally agree. I think it's important to maintain a balance in spending.
yes,
There are going to be good moments in which, of course, you can spend some money on clothing, but it is not necessary,
it's
as we say it,
necessary.
right? It's not
Yes,
necessary. Okay, good job. Thank you very much, and thank you all for helping me with this exercise. We have more questions, but there are other activities. There's another activity that I want to do with you before we leave tonight. So, I appreciate it. I think you're doing a great job. Um. And let's see here. There were other interesting questions, like for example here, let me what makes you feel more confident, or what makes you feel the most confident? So that was an interesting question. So when you're dressing, what makes you feel more confident? Like wearing certain type of colors make you feel like better, or maybe a certain style. Um, so let's see here. Do you change your clothes every month? Like, do you renew your closet every month, or how often do you renew your closet? So that was a very good question as well. So these are good questions that we can even ask ourselves to try to um, like maybe improve our our speaking. So some of the questions that you created for others are questions that you can practice answering yourself. So you can start like if you created this, do you like to wear colorful clothes? Well, how would I answer this? If I was in an interview and somebody asks me about that, so how would I go about answering that? What are some of the expressions that I would use? Uh, or if you're writing, like when you're giving a list of reasons of things or items, then are you separating them with commas? Are you using the symbols, et cetera, et cetera? So these are some of the things that I consider that are necessary when you're practicing alone, right? So practice using these kind of scenarios, and maybe you will notice the improvement. So before we leave today, I have a reading from this is an interesting website. It's a B1 reading. Let's see here. General B1, vocabulary 1A2. Okay, very good. So it is not too long. So we have different paragraphs. It's called Exploring Cultures, Travel Tips for Beginners. So, for example, if this is your first time traveling outside of the country, there are a few ideas that you should take in consideration, and that's what this is exploring. Okay, so we have one, two, three, four, five, six paragraphs that we can read, and I'm gonna ask you guys to help me reading those paragraphs as well. And this is a good website because it has some exercises. After the reading, you can see that there are some vocabulary words um, in the text, and it's going to provide you some context, some phrases that are interesting. There is a true and false or not given exercise as well. There's a multiple choice exercise. So it's a very complete um yeah, it's a very complete website when we talk about practicing reading and everything. So I would like to have the reading, but I will send you the link. I will share the link for you. Um, so you can practice on your own if you want some extra material. So exploring culture travel tips for beginners. I normally try to give you one reading before you do your part because I want to give you maybe the whole context of what's happening. Okay? So I'm going to give you the whole context of what's happening. Normally, it's hard when we read it in parts. Like for example, Raquel reads something, Karen reads something, Luisa reads something. So if we only do that, sometimes I feel like we kind of lose track of the whole story and the context. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to ask you to read with me, you in a silent reading, and I'm going to be reading out loud so you can have a general idea of what's happening. And then, yes, we can reread some of the paragraphs, but at least you're going to have a pretty good general idea of what's happening. So let's follow the reading, and then I will assign you a paragraph each, and I'll try to help you with the pronunciation of some of these words. The, my recommendation, as always, have your dictionary next to you. If there is a new word or pronunciation that you don't know, go to your dictionary, use your tools to try to uh, figure it out immediately. Okay, don't let time go by or say I'll investigate tomorrow because you're gonna forget. So if you do it right now, there are more chances for you to remember it. So traveling to new places can be very exciting, especially when you're exploring different cultures. But if you are new to traveling, there are a few tips that can that can help make your trip better. Before you go, research the place you will visit to learn about their ways of life. It's good to know a few basic words in the local language like hello, please, and thank you. This shows respect for the people and their culture. When you're in a new country, try to eat their local cuisine. Eating as the locals do will give you a real taste of the culture, and maybe you will find a new favorite dish. Remember to be open and try things even if they look strange to you at first. Besides, food can tell you a lot about the history and traditions of a place. Always be polite and take your time to talk with local people. They can tell you about hidden places that are not in travel guides. These spots can sometimes be the most beautiful and interesting parts of your journey. You could learn about a secret beach, a family owned restaurant, or a quiet park. Taking photos is a great way to keep memories, so don't forget your camera. But don't just take pictures. Make sure you also enjoy the moments. Sometimes put the camera down and look around with your eyes. The colors, smells, and sounds are all part of the experience. A popular thing to do when traveling is to buy souvenirs. These are small things like keychains, postcards, and local crafts that will remind you of your trip. When you look at a souvenir, it can take you back to the place and time where you got it. Be sure to buy souvenirs that are made in the place you're visiting. This way, you support the local economy and take a piece of the culture home with you. Lastly, always have a map of where you're going to travel, so of where you're going or a travel app available. Getting lost can be scary, and it's important to know how to get back to your hotel. Enjoy your travels, be safe, and be ready to learn a lot about the world out there. Traveling is not just about places, but it's also about the new people you meet in the and the experiences you have. So, not too complicated, not crazy words, but I'm pretty sure there are some words that we can learn from this experience. So I'm going to ask you to please read with me so we can practice a little. So the first paragraph is going to be read by Karen. Then I'm going to go with Liz, then Luisa, then Oscar, and then Raquel. That's the order that we're going to take. So Karen, can you please help me reading the first paragraph, and I'll help you with for the pronunciation of some words if needed.
Traveling to new places can be very exciting, especially when you are exploring different cultures. But if you're new to traveling, there are a few tips that can help make you do better. Before you go, research the place you will visit to learn about their ways of life. It's good to know a few basic words in the local language, like hello, please, and thank you. This shows respect for the people and their culture.
Very good, very good. So before we go next, I just want to point out something that we were just learning today. So when you're writing lists in English, notice what happens. So it's good to know a few basic words in the local language, like hello, it's one, please, and thank you. Notice that there is a list of words that or phrases that the person is encouraging us to learn and is giving us a list, and they are following the exact order that we just realized, that we just learned. Hello, comma, please, comma, and thank you, just as we learned today. I just wanted to point that out. And adding, this word is, I heard that you said basic, but it's basic. So the in this case it sounds more like a basic. Okay. That's the only comment. Then let's go with Liz. Liz, can you do number two?
When you are in a new country, try to eat a local cuis- cuisine.
Cuisine.
Cuisine. Eating as the locals do will give you a real taste of their culture and maybe you will find a new favorite dish. Remember to be open and try things even if they look strange to you at first. Besides, food can tell you a lot about the history and traditions of a place.
Thank you very much. So before we move, so there's another thing that I wanted to mention. So uh, there's one word that it's weird because it's not English. The word is cuisine, like cuisine, something like that. But this is French. This is a French word that has been adopted uh, from another language and introduced to English. Pretty much to when we say croissant, for example. So that's a word that is not from English, is not Spanish, it's actually French. So probably everybody pronounced it wrong, but because of the same reason. So I just wanted to make sure that that was available. And so here, besides, además de, comma, so there, there is an introduction and then there is a comma to try to, of course, organize the rest of the sentence. So if you see commas, kind of let us understand the text a lot better. So let's go with the next one. And I said that it was going to be Luisa. Luisa, can you do number 3, always?
Always be polite and take your time to talk with local people. They can tell you about hidden places that are not in travel guides. These spots can sometimes be the most beautiful and interesting parts of your journey. You could learn about a secret beach, a family owned restaurant, or a quiet park.
Okay, very good. So, Luisa, do you know what this means? Hidden places?
Mm, no, teacher.
What do you think it means based on the context? They can tell you about hidden places that are not in travel guides. So just
Like,
imagine what.
like an entrepreneur? No.
Mm,
Mm,
it's more like, for example, when we are saying hidden places, it's saying more like um places that are not like well known to the rest of the people. Right? So if you talk with local people, they can show you somewhere that is not as public, maybe something more quiet, more private. Hidden means escondido. So lugares escondidos. And maybe they
mm,
are not in the map, or maybe they are not in the travel guides, or maybe they are not on TikTok, right? But the locals know better. So this is what the text is saying. So you can go and experience that with the local people because they can tell you about those hidden places and they are not in travel guides normally. So I just wanted to address that. And for the rest of the class, of course, this is the meaning of the word hidden. I appreciate it. So good job. One more for Oscar and one for Raquel. So Oscar taking photos is the next one.
Taking photos is a great way to keep memories. So don't forget your camera, but just, I'm sorry, but don't just take pictures. Make sure you also enjoy the moments. Sometimes put the camera down and look around with your eyes. The colors, smells, and sounds are all parts of the experience.
Okay, very good, very good. So here we have another list that follows the same rule that we were talking about. The colors, comma, the smells, comma, and sounds are all parts of the experience. Very good. Last reading, a popular thing. That's for Raquel. Raquel, can you help me reading this last, the last paragraph, a popular.
Or a travel app. Sorry.
So, sorry, Raquel, I think we're having problems with the connection. Can you start over again? I don't know if you heard me, but can you start over again? It's just that I couldn't hear anything that you said.
Um, you can listen me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Good.
Okay. Place and time. Solo por dónde íbamos, solo es que no me recuerdo.
Popular. This is the one that
Popular.
you need.
A popular thing to do when traveling is to buy souvenirs. These are small things like keychains, postcards, or local crafts that will remind you of your trip. When you look at a souvenir, it can take you back to the place and time when you got it. Be sure to buy souvenirs that are made in the place you're visiting. This way, you support the local economy and take a piece of the culture home with you.
Okay, perfect. Very good. So this is interesting. If you see again, we have a list of things. We have some commas in there, and that's good. So when when I read this paragraph, I thought that it was very funny because this happened to me. I don't know if this has happened to you sometime, but when you travel, right? And you travel and you buy souvenirs. Of course, you're expecting to buy some of the things made by the local people, right? So, for example, if you go to Atitlan, right, Panajachel, and you buy a souvenir from there, you're of course hoping that you're bringing back to your home something that was made by the local people, right? So something like that happened to me. I uh, Many years ago, I traveled to Panama and I travel around the country and bought some souvenirs. I bought some earrings for my mom at that moment, and I didn't realize. I thought I was buying souvenirs from Panama, and when I came back home and I gave my mom the gift, the box said made in Mexico. So of course it was some souvenir in a market, but it was not from Panama. Probably someone was just reselling it. So be careful. Be careful. Try to investigate and check if they're actually made by locals. If not, you're probably just buying something made in China or something like that. So that's how we're gonna end the class. Thank you very much for staying till the very end. I just need to remind you that tomorrow we're gathering at 7:30 to get some of the instructions, have some conversations, and finish our final test, which will provide us the necessary credentials to move to Upper Intermediate 2. Okay, so I hope everybody shows up so we can all continue and be together for the next course. So have some rest for the evening. I'll see you tomorrow at 7:30. Have a good one.
Que consta que no nos dio el chivo, eh.
No, Lizzie, lo siento.
Have a good night.
Have a good
Good
one.
morning.
Bye bye.
My teacher, thanks.
You're welcome. Bye bye.